Hello everyone, welcome back to the KMTRADERS channel. So this is the full market analysis volume 135. Just looking at our analysis from last week, and then we're going to give you some insights for this week as well. So first thing off, I just want to say that we have the NFP coming up. So that will be on Friday, so just be wary of that. And then I believe next week we've got a couple of news events that we need to be aware of too. So just keep your eyes peeled for that, especially with the US dollar. But starting off with gold, pretty much what I'm still looking for is just this aim for 1680 to go low. So we can see that price has been doing some of this like turnover. I guess I think we could have. I think I was potentially suggesting that we could see a price to pop up back up to the upside, but we can see pretty much price is already heading towards the downside. So it didn't really give us that piercing move to the upside and then drop lower. We're pretty much getting closer now. So I think if we start to look for more sells, to take out 1680 possibly, maybe into 1600s, that might be something where we could see price going. So I'm pretty much happy with that analysis for now. I'll just leave it as it is. Again, this scenario here is if price is to pop back up again, it could do like a price move to the upside, but again we still want to see 1680 to be taken out. So just all kind of to play for, and I think the NFP could be the starting move for either of the bullish kind of intention. So if we take a look at EU, I was kind of looking at the same situation where wanting price to go lower. I saw that I think I was speaking about that price was able to make some sort of high before making a new, just a slight pullback, but it never really gave us anything. So from here, I'm kind of looking at to see if we can get this turnover to the downside possibly, and let that be a sell. And then what I'm going to be trying to see is, is there any way for price to turn over from here? But we obviously don't know. So we could either be seeing a big move to the upside, or we'll see the strength to the downside still. So either way, I'm not entirely sure, but we need to see what happens and how it reacts. And I'm looking at 0.99 or 0.98 if I'm being honest. Nice round number to see some sort of reaction off. So that's what I'm thinking with EU. I'm not really too keen on any big moves to the upside right now, just because of how choppy this is. So I think we still got some more downside moves to come, so we just need to wait. In regards to NU, I'm looking at the 0.61 as a support level. So I guess we were kind of looking at some sells. So I'm kind of looking at the 0.61 as a support level. But if we do get a break of that, I'm looking at 0.6 as the next point, and we could see a turnover in price to the upside. Again, it's kind of still similar thoughts with gold in a sense, where we get in some sort of push up. But I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see 0.6 being taken out. So that's my kind of thoughts for NU. If we take a look at AU, I'm looking at 0.67 to act as my kind of like support level. If we break that, I think we can move we could move a bit more lower. And then again, if we're lucky enough to get a retest, then we can take a sell. But in the grand scheme of things, I am actually waiting for that big move to the upside. And again, it's kind of tying in with gold, EU, gold, EU, and NU at the same time. So we're still waiting for this bullish move to come, because it's just been consistently falling. So I think there is something that's brewing to the upside. We just have to wait for it to fall into place. So if we take a look at the Japanese yen pairs now, so I was actually using 139 and 140 as a resistance level, but judging at how price has been stepping up, I feel like price is able to, it could break it. So I've got a few scenarios that I wanted to discuss. So if we do break it, there is an opportunity for sells, but again, it's not. I don't think it's going to be necessarily straight away. So I think it will be something like this, where we'll get a retest and then push higher, and then in the further later distance, maybe it kind of coincides when, if all the US dollar pairs like gold, EU, NU, AU, once that starts to go bullish, this will go bearish. So I think this kind of scenario could play out. And then I'm gonna pop this as like the second scenario, but this is if we find 140 to kind of hold, and if so, we could just see prices just smash to the downside, but I really doubt it because we are quite close. So if we start to see price just perk up, we could see price just go a bit bullish and then have that turnover next week or so. But that's what I'm looking at with that UJ. So kind of matching this together with UJ, what I'm thinking is two scenarios: that we'll find that 108 will hold as resistance, or we'll see price move up again and pretty much do like a similar thing with UJ in our scenario that we just discussed. So in this, what we're doing, sorry, I don't know why I'm using that laptop. So what we're doing is we could get a retest trade there and then a sell trade here, providing we do get that sell momentum, right? Again, this is all guesswork until we start to see the candles form. Then the other scenario is that if we stay below 108, we could see sells to the downside, right? So that's my kind of idea with CJ, and that's following on from UJ with that idea. So if we have a look now at EJ, so for EJ, I've got 141 as a kind of resistance level. If you can see here, it's just been multiply touched. Well, 142 to be honest. Got a lot of resistance and dynamic support resistance here. So essentially, if we stay below this, there could be a sell-off within that. But like I said, putting the confluence together for the other thing, we could see price stepping up. So we could see this being done, and then if that happens, we could see price take all the way to the upside to 145, and then we could see price, we have to see what happens up there, but essentially it might make sense to start looking at some buys or hedge this position to the upside and waiting for the NFP, because we could have a spike up real quick, or to the downside, whichever way really. But kind of looking for sells if we stay below 142. But as price is quite bullish already, we could be looking at buys just in case 142 doesn't hold as resistance, and then if so, we could be looking at a retest buy in the anticipation for 145 to be hit. Okay, so if we take a look at AJ, so what we're seeing pretty much, okay, it looks quite confusing here, but yeah, pretty much I'm going to move this one across. So essentially, if we stay below 97, we could see price turnover to the downside, or the other option, which is pretty much the same as UJ, we get that break above, we'll have to wait for a retest, and then boom, go for like a retest buy, and then from here, this is unknown territory, but we have to kind of see what's going to happen. I'm probably going to get rid of that because the likelihood of that happening is probably a little bit minuscule. What's the drop to the downside? Yeah, 500. So we need to wait for a bit more time for a price to get back down here. That's why I'm talking more about the 97 level. But I think these are the two options that I'm looking at, if anything. So yeah, that's pretty much the Japanese yen pair. So we'll just look at the last two US dollar kind of pairs. So USD Swiss franc. So what I'm looking at here is if we go above 99, we are going to be bullish, I believe, like so. So this scenario, what I'm thinking is if we stay below the 99 level, we could be looking at a huge sell opportunity. So anywhere here really. I'll just bang that in. But if we do go above 99, and again the reason for that, I'll just move this up. So 99, about there. So 99 roughly is like pretty much my kind of support and dynamic resistance zone. That's just like a flipped over sort of thing. If we do go above it, hold on, I shall be looking more for kind of bullish moves, but this is slowly stepping up. So I've got like a channel that's being drawn here, that we've broken above, so we could be looking at something like that in theory, and see price pushing towards the 1.01 levels and higher, because I think if we do break that, we could be bullish a little bit more. So if we take a look at USD CAD, so this one's quite interesting. So in theory, what we could end up seeing happening is 132 being held, respected. I'm using this candle because it's kind of pretty much a huge rejection wick, and it gave a big strong move. And so what I'm thinking is, if we can stay below that, there could be a double top that forms, and then if that holds, it could take out all the way back down to 1.27. But again, because it's actually quite risky, we don't really know, we need to wait. But if we do get a break above, then it's going to essentially be something like this, where we get a break and retest trade to the upside. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I've got for this week. We've got the NFP on Friday, and I believe we've got some news events that's coming up through the end of next week or so. So I think that's in regards to the US dollar pairs. So just make sure you keep an eye out for that. So if you do get any value from this video, make sure you leave a like, make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you all in our next week's video.